So Zach Wilson actually got benched. We talked about this 2 days ago. I know. I said I want to bench him. Yeah, I think y'all both said yeah, y'all bench him. I think y'all both said that, right? So I'm gonna kick this one off. Yeah, they benched him, and the reason why the team actually had to go to him and say, "Hey, coach, man, please get this dude out of here." All right. So now they are replacing him with Mike White. They now replacing him with Joe Flacco. They replacing him with Mike White. There you go. Okay, you gotta change up. They replacing him with Mike White. All right. So do I agree with that? I understand why they do that, doing this, because Joe Flacco was no world beater where he did play. You look at the numbers, touchdown, interception wise. Him and Zach Wilson are kind of similar. Now, Mike White is another young guy. If I'm not mistaken, he was a rookie last year, so it's another young guy that could potentially take Zach Wilson's spot for the future. They know Joe Flacco is not the future. They know Joe Flacco is a veteran on the team that can coach up these young guys, or God forbid, an injury happens, he can come in and just fill right in because he's a veteran, Super Bowl champion. But I don't think it'll be no different with Mike White. Probably Joe Flacco might be a little better, but not tremendously better. So I'm good with that. He did have that game when he threw 3 touchdowns with 400 yards against the Bengals, but I know he turned around and dropped a dud. But I like the coordinator. I like Mike LaFleur. I think Mike LaFleur could do a good job with him. I just think Zach Wilson was the wrong person. He was too cute. That makes sense. Like he was too like he went on quarterbacks that's very talented, but he's not tough. He's not ready for the NFL. And I think Mike White was more prepared for that. So I'm good with that move going to Mike White.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I think the Mike White move was good. I know a lot of people was expecting Joe Flacco to take over, but you know the crowd actually loves Mike White. After that game he played, they pretty much was rooting for him. So the Jets, the Jets fans are gonna want to see Mike White play more anyway. So I think it's a good move. It's a good move for the locker room because, I mean, after what he said, I would have benched him too. I mean, that's what me and Tomo said the last show. After what he said, if you're the franchise quarterback, whether you're young or a vet, that's not something you say when you know you let down your team. If you play bad, you got to admit it that you play bad. And even if you didn't play bad, you're the quarterback of the team. You got to say, well, yeah, I got to do better. We have, like they said, you got players that throw 5 touchdown games and 500 yards and they lose. And they say, well, look, I got to play better. Like, sir, you just had a monster game. What you mean you need to play better? But as a leader, that's just what you do. And you can clearly see that he has no leadership qualities. He has no accountability. And he waited until today to say, I understand that he understand why he got benched. Well, yeah, you should have known that on Sunday when you lost. You should have known that was going to come. You should have took accountability and maybe you had a chance to play again. Your attitude is what got you benched, not just your play.
All right, Jay Mula.
I guess he's feeling real entitled. You know what I mean? He had no business getting drafted that high anyway. But I agree with the Jets move from this perspective. Like you said, Joe, they already know what Joe Flacco is gonna bring. They trying to see what they. I guess they trying to see exactly what they have in Mike White for the future because they don't have time to waste with the rest of the season with Joe Flacco. Like, all right, you play out the rest of the season, then what? Then when next year we still gonna have to try out Mike White, see if he work. So I guess it's better for them to do it now, for the rest of the season. Even though they looking good. Shout out to Sauce Gardner. But yeah, I agree with the Zach Wilson benching because he's tripping. Like you can't say that. You can tell he's a kid. Like not necessarily his age, but the way he carries himself. No accountability is it's like a child quality to me. You haven't grown, and that should be pretty obvious. You know what I'm saying? That should be pretty obvious. If I'm the quarterback of the team and I'm in a press conference, I'm not deflecting the blame whether I play good or not. Like it just seems like it's pretty obvious, and and the way he answered that question, he's obviously not ready. So yeah, I'm with the Mike White move. Shout out to Joe Flacco.
I told you, Joe. I told you if I was one of them players in the locker room and I heard coach say Zach Wilson is starting this week, I'm leaving the facility. At that moment, I'm out. I'm calling my agent. We gotta go. They must have heard us, man. They must have heard us. As far as the benching, he definitely. I would have said it the same. I would have walked in and told Zach the same way he answered in a press conference. Hey, coach, you think I'm starting this week? No, no, flat out, no. You're not. No. Now go back over there, grab your clipboard, and sit with the quarterback coach because you're done. The starting of Mike White though is a head scratcher for me though because they're still in the playoff hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think most teams will go with their vet just to be like, all right, we're still in playoff contention, so like this is not a time to figure out if this quarterback is the guy or not. So that's the only reason I say they should start Flacco over the kid because their division is tight. 6-4, 6-4, 7-3, 7-3. Like you still got a chance to win this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I would say I probably who do they play this week? They got the Bears. Yeah, they play the Bears. All right, so yeah, now I will start the kid this week and see how he does. Then we got Minnesota, Buffalo. Like the schedule gets tougher after that. So if he wins this game, you got to see how the rest of the division shakes out because making the playoffs is still making the playoffs. Like the Jets are looking like the Kings right now. With it, everyone was like, "Man, y'all the laughing stock," but now you're winning. Do you really want to be on shaky ground, especially after your coaching decision? It took for a team meeting for him to change his mind. Like Zach Wilson shouldn't even want to come back to the locker room, honestly. Like honestly, I don't even see how he's still welcome in New York. But I don't play for the Jets, so.
And real quick, I'm not sure y'all saw the RG3 tweet when he tried to compare Zach Wilson and Taylor Heineke. They got the same amount of touchdowns, QBR, all that crap, right? First of all, quarterback is more than numbers. It's leadership. And David, you brought that up. You got to be a leader. Taylor Heineke is far more of a leader than Zach Wilson. All right? Yes. Also, Taylor Heineke actually throws the ball to his best receiver instead of overlooking him and running out of bounds or throwing out of bounds. All right? Taylor Heineke takes – you ever hear his press conference? He always takes responsibility in any loss. And even in the wins, he talks about how he could play better. Taylor Heineke is a legit leader. And he has fire to his game. Zach Wilson doesn't. He's too pretty. He's privileged. He was a number 2 pick. So him getting a bench has nothing to do with his overall pick. Because normally when you're a second overall, you do get more chances than a person like Taylor Heineke. So what is RG3 talking about? Because Kenny Pickett, first round draft pick, right? 3 touchdowns, 8 interceptions for the year. Have the Steelers benched him yet?
No.
They not winning. But Kenny Pickett adds fire. He's a leader. He's giving his receivers chances. He's a way different quarterback than Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson is literally just out there. And Taylor Heineke, yes, he loses us games. The Vikings, he lost us that game. All right? Kenny Pickett, yes, he loses them games. All right? But yet, they are leaders. So RG3, I loved you in 2010 or 2012, I should say. You know, Thanksgiving coming up tomorrow. You know, I remember we did a Dallas on Thanksgiving, but we're not going to talk about that. But I like you, RG3, but what you said in that tweet, I 100% disagree with what you said.
What
My
we
bad,
do?
Tombo.
Like what we do?
Right on that field, too. Right on that field, you got your background.
Like, come on, now I got to change the background. What we do?
Hey.
You know how you do a little fall?
I mean, Garrett Wilson is not trash, though. I'm sorry. I don't think Garrett Wilson's he's not a problem, but Garrett Wilson's not trash. So, and he.
No, I think he was talking about Joe Point when he said at least he throws to his best
not like
receiver.
Terry McLaurin.
But look at the comment. The comment says in Zach Wilson's defense, and his defense, that's like saying that Garrett Wilson sucks. I don't think Garrett Wilson sucks.
Oh no,
he said he's saying that Zach Wilson defense. Zach Wilson does throw to Garrett Wilson. He trying to say that, yeah, that's what he's trying to say.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
he's saying that like he does throw on the ball.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna pull the targets. I'm gonna come back to it though. But
also, Joe, RG3 might be a little upset because Kirk Cousins took his job. You gotta think he was in that same position. You gotta think.
Give us 2 more.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying.
That's true. But I got one more thing. I don't think anyone's when it comes to Robert Saleh. This is the one thing I'm gonna say about him. You got to think about the coaches that come from the Kyle Shanahan tree, or that just came from that just left for the 49ers. Look at Mike McDaniels. Look at what he's doing with the Dolphins right now, and look at what Robert Saleh is doing with the Jets. No one thought Miami's going to be where they are right now, even though they got Tyreek Hill. A lot of people didn't believe in Tua. They thought Tua was not the quarterback to be. He didn't have any arm strength. and they didn't think he was accurate enough to help out that team. Even with a bad quarterback, the Jets are still in the playoff hunt. So that I think it's just that the way that they coach as well is what helps those teams. Because if you look at how San Francisco is, they got the Yak team. Then you look at if you look at Miami, they kind of sort of got a Yak team, but it's more about speed with them because you got Mostert in the backfield, you got Wilson now, and you got Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Those are 4 players that run at least a 4-3 minimum. And then if you look at the Jets, Robert Saleh was what? The defensive coordinator in San Francisco, and that's why their defense is so good. So that's why their teams are so good, and that's because they all do what they need to do specially, and their team is riding off of that. So with Zach Wilson being that bad, yeah, you got to get him out of there.
Real quick, Garrett Wilson, since he's been a starter, 4 targets, 5 targets, 4 targets, 7, 9, 3. He's not throwing the ball enough. All right. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.